Hey guys, how's it going today? Well, it's been a while since we did a video on the truck here, so today we're going to take this stock seat out, and I got a couple of different seat options, and I'm gonna hopefully get your guys' opinions on them. This seat here, I'm keeping it, and eventually I'd like to put the original seat back in it someday probably, but I've got a couple other options that's going to go in it now. I got that piece of plywood, so I've got to I got to get the seat out, the seat back, and get it all the way down to this frame here, and then we'll make a little template for that plywood and cut a piece out and see what we got to do as far as brackets to get the seats up to the right height. And I'll do a little measurement to see where this one sits. It's pretty good height now, so we'll use that to go by. So I'll bring you guys back in a little bit there. Okay, well that was pretty easy. Just 1, 2, and on the other side, the hardest part of getting the seat out was the way the seat belts were fed through the seat back. So my problem that I'm seeing here is I really don't want to have to take all this out to get down to this flat base. I would if it just unbolted right away, but it looks like there's more to it, and I could actually have I could actually have it to where the seats went forward if I put it on there. The problem I'm seeing is from the top of this angle coming down gets into this by the time you get here, so I might have to make a bracket that comes up a little ways this way and comes across the top, and that wouldn't be too bad with some steel to maybe get a flat sort of a somewhat of a rake in it. I could go a little higher here to maintain that. I'll have to kind of put a piece of wood in here and see how she lays in here. So let me do a little work. I'll bring you guys back. Okay, well, these are the seat choices. I would like to use these really because they're out of my Tahoe. The third row, they've never been sat on, and they're leather, and the only thing about them is and I could take these seat belts out of the seat and put them off to the side, not too worried about that, but it's more of the ease of underneath. They were in the truck for a while, but they were folded down when I had the dog, the good old chocolate lab. But yeah, that's kind of a pain there, so I probably end up chopping that up there. And you know what, if I don't use these, I may be able to sell these. They're like new, and so that would fund the project a little bit. So I'm kind of leaning away from these, but I wanted your guys' opinion. I'm going to go up and show you the ones that I am probably going to end up using though. Okay, so these are out of a Toyota minivan. They're black, and they basically just lay right in here. I barely even got a skinny little piece of plywood in there, and they sit in there nice. I think they look good. They're comfortable. And the real selling point on them is the ease in which they will bolt in, because they're just on these flat sliders. The only thing I don't like about them is this arm, which I'm going to cut back under the seat. My wife already sat over there, and she goes, "This isn't going to be there, is it?" So, no, that'll get changed. But yeah, these are nice, comfy seats, and I don't really have to do anything with the height. I thought I was going to have to bring them up, but I sit in there, and once this front's kicked up a bit, I can't really do it one-handed, but once that kicks up like that a little bit, they'll be real nice and comfortable. So okay, let me get thinking about how I'm going to put the bottom piece of wood in there. I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, so this is my plan for mounting this. I'm going to bring this 1-inch square tube. I'm going to cut the top of it off and back and remove this piece. Then I could drill a hole on the bottom side, and that'll slip over here and let me put a nut on here. And then what I'm going to do up on this end is I'm going to run this wild and take this back, cut it back like this long, take this edge back, up and over, and again, so I have this long tab sticking past, and then I'll be able to bend it, because I want to get this at an angle kind of like that, and then run it back, and then it'll clear all this, and it'll give me the rake that I want for the seat. And once I get these two sides done, then I'll be able, and I didn't want to have to drill any holes, but I have a hole there already and a hole right there, so I'll just lay a flat edge across this and figure out what I got to do there for a center support, and then that 3/4 inch plywood should be plenty good. So I'm going to take and cut this now and get it ready to fit into this side, and I'll bring you guys back in a little bit. Okay, so I got these brackets here made up. I cut that notch like we said there, and put this little bit of a bend there, and so I'll set this in place like so, and this there, and then that will get me over that mechanism there, and then I'm just going to put a piece of flat bar off this, and I can mount the plywood to that, and that'll keep it up here, and then it'll be easy to take it off just here and here. Yeah, I'll just have a piece of flat bar running across here about inch and a half, and then I can just bolt the plywood right out onto that edge. Although there has been a development, I got a backup piece going here, because my wife was sitting in there and her feet were dangling. She's pretty small gal, so I've got I whipped this one up here, and I'll show you what we might end up having to do instead. Then this piece here will just go on like that, and then that will put the plywood down flush to almost to the top of this rail. That'll drop at that whole 1 inch tube, and then I can still mount it to these, and where the plywood would come over here, I just make a bigger hole to get the nut down to the plywood, and then actually mount the plywood out on here. So that'll work well too. So I'm just going to go in here real quick. I got the TIG welder out, and I'm just going to finish up this one last piece right here on camera, and then we'll come back when there's more done. Here we go. I just show you those real quick, and yeah, and that turns out pretty good there. And so I'll bring you guys back when I get a little bit more done. Okay, so I went with the flatter bars. They're seeming to work fine. So what I got going now, I'll lift up. I made these bigger holes in the plywood on all four corners, and then these brackets are here, and I measured in and made these holes here. You can see that. So I'll take these down and drill those in, and then I'll be able to fit the metal to the bottom of the board, and then the seat bottom should come out just by taking the nuts off there. So okay, I'll get a little more done and bring you back. All right, so I went with the flat bar here, so it's going to be just minimum height. One thing I did forget to mention, one of the reasons I was going to use those other bars with the angle was to clear that mechanism. This side will be okay on the driver's side. This side I may just have to notch out a little bit of the plywood right there, just a little bit. I may and may not have to. So this will go down like this, and these will take those seat adjusters that are in the truck, so that way this all will come out. And so I've got my seats marked here where they go. So next I'm going to set the seats on here where I have my marks and get those ready to drill in and mount. And then I'll do a dry fit with everything, and then I will be taking everything apart, and that'll be a second video, and I'll come back and do painting the board, and I think I'm going to do a little trim down around the front of this like the stock seat is. And today I may get the spacers that have to go back here. This has to be cut for the seat belt that's in the truck. And same with right here. Hope you guys are seeing where where I was pointing at. Okay, well, I'll bring you back in a little bit then. Okay, so I got the seats mounted, and I'm just going to keep them loose now because I'm going to have to take them off and put the board back in, and it needs a shimmying across the front here, and the back needs to be split, and the seat belts are going to come out right through the middle there. They're bolted to that base on the floor, and the seats, the lighting kind of shadowy here, and the seat belts also come out right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece back in and do the work that I have to do on this, and then we'll be able to move on to the final. The final is going to be some kind of paint this, trim it, and a little console here for coffee, and a little door or something on there. Okay, bring you back in a bit. Okay, so I got a little bit more done on this is the bottom here, and this is the relief for the center, the female part of the seat belts. A little relief there, and this is for the outside part of the seat belts. And then I built up some wood, one layer inside towards the back of the seat, and then this one has two pieces, and then that lets this sit down even all the way around on the frame. So I also got a little bit of paint here, and let me see if I can take this and show you. I wanted to match the plywood kind of to the dash there. You can kind of see that this is pretty close, opposed to that's pretty dark. So I'm going to go with that lighter color. And then I've got the seat belts sticking out there, ready to go. And one thing I forgot to mention is how solid this truck is. I mean, there's just no rust in it. It's just amazing on how solid it is. I have to clean it a little bit in here, but you know, there's years of horsehair and stuff off that other seat, but I'll get this nice and cleaned up before I put it in there. So okay, I'll get a little bit more done and bring you back. All right, well, I got one seat in there. Here's where the relief for the belts are, right there, and right back here. And that piece that's going to come around here, it's flush like right up in there. So I should be able to wrap something there and kind of hide that. But yeah, I think that color is pretty good with that. I like that color with that black over there. So I'll put the other seat in, and then we'll wrap this first video up. Well, I've got the seats about 90% done here. They're all in the truck. I don't have them completely bolted down yet because I want to take this up and clean around the back where the gas tank is and stuff. But and I bent that one there, and it still works the seat fine. I can weld it where I split it at, and my wife sat in there and it fits her good. So yeah, that's a wrap. And one thing I didn't mention too, I also took the shifter and bent it over towards the passenger side a little bit, because even with the old seat, it was binding my leg in the steering wheel when I tried to go from the brake to the gas pedal. So now it's fine, it clears just great. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on this one, and I just wanted to thank you guys very much for watching the video. Hopefully you like the black seats that I picked, and just take care of yourselves. We're getting through this, and I hope you come back and watch the second video when we finish her up. Okay, thank you guys.